every day, yeah, yeah. Ooh, baby, I love your way every day. Shadows grow so long before my eyes, and they're moving.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to my review of Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, directed by Kasdan, and starring Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillan. So, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. This is a, well, I guess you could say sequel to the original Jumanji, which came out about 22, 23 years ago now. So, yeah. I wasn't initially gonna see this, but because the trailers made it look awful. The trailers really made it look awful. But I decided to go out of my house today because something was going on, plumbing issue. So I thought, you know what, I'll just get out of the way. So I went to the cinema. I went to the movies, as you do. And I chose to see Jumanji. I thought, well, I want to just see what it's like. And lo and behold, I actually ran into one of my friends. He actually was going to see it as well. We didn't plan to go together. We just ran into each other, which was nice. So I ended up seeing it with him, which is really cool. So the plot of Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle is that it centers around these 4 teenagers who end up in detention together, and they find in this back room this old video game named Jumanji, and they get sucked inside it, and they have to beat the game by finding this jewel and placing it in this big statue in order to escape the game. And that's pretty much what you've got going on. And they end up, the 4 of them end up taking on these game avatars, which is quite cool. So, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. As I said, I wasn't really looking forward to seeing this movie. I mean, I have memories of the first one, the first Jumanji film. I haven't seen it for years. I haven't seen it for years and years and years. So I don't remember much about Jumanji, but I remember really enjoying it. And, you know, this one, it was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. You know, I was worried that this was going to be awful to sit through. I really thought it was going to be terrible. But to my surprise, it's actually not that bad. I mean, it's certainly not, in terms of a film, it's not really the greatest thing ever made. I mean, yeah, there's no question about it. The structure of it, it's just nonsense. I mean, the plot is just ludicrous. I mean, it is ludicrous, but it's meant to be fun. It's not trying to be anything more than what it is. There's a sense of self-awareness about it, which is what I like. It knows what it is. It's basically a video game movie, except it's not based off an actual video game. The board game has now become a video game. And I think it's interesting seeing these characters become, you know, avatars in that sense. And I liked the journey of those characters, although it's obviously quite jarring because they are meant to be those characters that we saw at the beginning. But I was actually very surprised at how much fun the movie was. For anything else, I mean, yeah, I didn't give a poop about the story, didn't give a poop about the characters, but I actually thought it was quite fun. It's a good old popcorn flick, and you can sink your teeth into it for 2 hours. It's perfectly fun. You know, I think kids will really like it because it's fun. It will breeze by. It's a video game, so it'll be like they're playing a video game. For those of us who are more analytical when it comes to films, this movie is not without its problems. Oh yeah, it's got loads of problems. But as I said, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I think the performances are pretty good, actually. Dwayne Johnson does a good job as Spencer. Well, the Avatar version of Spencer. He does a good job, and he has good chemistry with the other 3. Who are Kevin Hart. He's actually quite good in the movie. He's not so annoying, because sometimes Kevin Hart can be very annoying in some of his roles. But I thought he reined it in this one, so that was good. Jack Black is a riot as the Avatar version of Bethany. Jack Black is hilarious in this film. He plays, like, Bethany is the teenage girl. She's obsessed with herself. She's very self-obsessed. She's a very fit girl. She likes her phone. She likes her looks. and she ends up being in the body of a middle-aged man, and that kind of throws her for a bit. And obviously by the end, her character will arc out to be a nicer person, and she becomes, you know, friends with the three of them, and she's not so self-obsessed, so that's nice. But yeah, I thought Jack Black was hilarious, and there's a moment when he has to teach Martha to flirt, which was, it could have been cringy, but it was actually not too bad, and Karen Gillan played off that really well. And Karen Gillan's in the movie. If you Doctor Who fans, Karen Gillan is in this film as Martha, or the Avatar version of Martha. Karen Gillan puts on an American accent for the role, and I think it's very good. I mean, obviously, Karen Gillan is Scottish, so maybe she thought her normal voice wouldn't sound as authentic for the role. So, I mean, I think the decision for her to go American is fine. You know, I mean, she did it in Guardians of the Galaxy, so why not do it here? Although Nebula is a very different character. But yeah, and all four of them are pretty funny. They're pretty good, and they have good chemistry with each other. They bounce off one another. The younger versions, you only see them at the beginning and the end. But, you know, they're still good for what they have. Nick Jonas appears in the movie. He plays Alex. He's quite cool. I like him. Although he comes in towards the second half of the film. The villain. The villain is a joke. The villain is nothing. I don't even know his name. They didn't really mention his name at all. They didn't give much information about him whatsoever. So that's that. I think it is... Oh, what's his name? Van Pelt, Bobby Cannavale. Yeah, he was just a joke. He's just a nothing villain. He doesn't do anything. He's in like 3 scenes, and then yeah, you don't really know much about him. I think the CGI is good enough. It's quite fun. It's shot out on location quite a lot, so it looks nice. But it doesn't. What it doesn't have is the heart or the charm of the original film. It does feel like I don't know if the film knows its target audience. It tries at one point to be a teen movie. I thought this film was aimed for younger kids, but then I realised with the amount of swearing in it, and there's actually quite a few jokes that are quite full on for young kids. So I thought, okay, they're either aiming this for a teen audience, or either a teen audience or a younger audience, and it's not really clear where this movie stands in that regard. So that was one thing I didn't really get about the movie. The music's cool, the music's good. I do think the film has some pacing problems. There are parts of the film during the middle which do drag a little bit. Not majorly, but for the most part it keeps itself moving along. I mean, it's a perfectly adequate, you know, it's fine. It's a passable popcorn romp. That's how I would describe it. But it's nothing spectacular. It really isn't anything spectacular. But it did impress me in the sense that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, judging by the trailers. Yeah, some of the dialogue is pretty cringy and pretty cheesy. So that's slightly annoying. As well as, I just think that the story's just really nothing. It's just basic. It's a basic story. It tries to go very sentimental towards the end, and I don't think it really works. Like, there are moments that you just feel like, can we not be so soppy with this, please? It really doesn't need to be like this. Like, during the end of the film, the resolution of the film, when they all come back together, and it's just a bit, it's a bit cheese, to be honest. It's a bit cheesy, but you know what? Despite all of that, I mean, it's pretty fun. It will keep you entertained. There's some good action sequences. It romps along. There's a couple of draggy moments in the middle. The villain's a joke. But the performances are good. And it is actually surprisingly quite funny in some places. Yeah. But there's none of the usual stuff you'd want in a film, like good plot, good characters, good story. That's not really there. But I mean, Jack Black is entertaining. He's the funniest thing in the movie. And I think kids will get a kick out of it. So I would score Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I'm going to give it a passing grade of 6 out of 10.
Ooh, baby, I love your way every day, yeah, yeah. Ooh, baby, I love your way every day. Shadows grow so long before my eyes.
rating it that highly. I really did not. I thought I was going to hate this movie. But sadly, well, not sadly, I mean, surprisingly, I don't. I think it's actually alright. I think it's passable. So if you have kids, take them to see it. I think they'll enjoy it. It's fun. It's fun. But just don't expect a masterpiece, because you're not going to get that. You're not going to get a really good film with a really good story. It's just an entertaining way to spend 2 hours, and yeah, my friend enjoyed it as well. We thought, yeah, it was fun at the end. We liked it. So that's my review of Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the movie, and which of the 2 Jumanji movies do you prefer? Please comment down below. Let me know. My pick is the first one, easily the first one. I'm sure most people will agree with me, but if you don't, then fair enough. Let me know why in the comments. Stay tuned, guys, for more reviews, and until then, thank you all for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. Thomas 11. See ya.